Oh, it's me again. I'm going to be your go-to for today's explainer. I'll be taking you through the specifically our core our core products, which is the CV screening, and I'm going to drive you through how the whole process works. So this is the CV screening functionality within our system, and there are two ways you can use this to screen applications or screen candidates, resume or CVs. And the one way is to import from job application. So if you've used the CVSense tool for, you published the job collection form through the CVSense and you have your application, it means that you can see in this past application, a past job, it has about three applicants, three people have applied for this job. So you can see them here, three candidates, but these are just demos, of course. So three candidates have applied for this job, and you just go straight here. You can import this. It does everything. It imports the project name. It imports the job description. It also imports in the background all the candidates' applications, their CV, everything they've applied, they've submitted. Now, what happens is that you can now add the skills that you prefer. Sometimes we've seen recruiters who want to keep the skills up as much as possible neutral, but eventually they might also have certain preferences they want to prioritize. So you can add those sort of skills, those sort of skills. Yeah, whatever skill you want, you can add them here. Whatever thing it is. So, what the system does is that if you, in case you've applied in the job description, you've listed certain competencies or skills you're looking for, and you also now have added skills that you would prefer. What our system does is that it prioritizes, the skills you've listed here as the core preferences, and it also blends them into the ones you have listed in the job description. But as best practice, if you have these skills listed in the job description, you don't need to add them here. But if you've added them here, then it prioritizes them as the most core skills, that essential criteria or core expected skills that the candidate should possess, and blends it into, in terms of hierarchy, prioritize them above the ones in the job description. And here you put the years of experience that you are looking for. You can see that in this job description now it says 3 to 5 years, but if you want to have eventually, when you've gotten a lot of application, you want to do a benchmark to focus on those who have about 4 years of experience, you can also include that. It sort of prioritizes that over what you have in the job description. And you can proceed to, the next stage. The next stage is a validation stage, which happens in less than a minute. This validation stage is where it checks the validity of these CVs to be sure that they are valid, CVs, and you have enough credit in your account as well to be able to proceed to the next stage, which is the CV analysis. This is, after this stage, it could take, depending on the length of application, it could take a few minutes. After this stage, you now get a complete CV, a complete report with this candidate CVs as well. So I'll just go straight to the reports. You can see this almost completing is about 50%. I just go straight to the reports and show you some previous report, what they look like. Okay, sorry, before I go through this, I'll just show you the other aspects of what this does, which is of how you can do the CV screening, which is the manual aspect. So you can see here, I'm just going to type in the job details, the job project name and job details. You can add the skills you want the candidates to have, put the list of skills, put the years of experience you want to prioritize, put the location. This is usually optional, but you can add it if you wish, and proceed. So click here, it takes you to the to your device to select the CVs of the candidates. And if you've exported these from an ATS and it's in zip file, zip format. You don't need to export it in your device to import it here. It could get things all messy for you or whatever, but you can import the zip file itself. Our system has the ability to just unzip it for you and export, bring out all the CVs inside the zip file. You can as well import all of the CVs individually in different document type like PDF, docs, tests, or again you can use a zip file. There is a 1,000 application limit that you can run per batch, but once this is running, you can do multiple applications. So for recruitment agencies doing high volume, of course you can run 10,000 applications instantly, but they have to be in individual batch of 1,000 for each project. So as you can see here, all you just have to do from here is similar to what we have from the imported jobs. The first approach which I showed you, you can it just goes through the stage of validation. It checks and validates those CVs, and after that you can begin the process. So I'll just pause and bring up a CV from my device and just show you what the process looks like. Okay, as you can see now, I have about the number of CVs. I have about 5 CVs imported from my device, and I'll just start the validation process. It uploads into the system, extracts the CV data. It does all it works and all of that. This is usually timed to a 60-minute session where it expects you to complete the process. And when you don't complete the process within this duration, it terminates the project, and you probably have to start all over. So you have 1 hour to do that. Again, you can start the analysis. You can have multiple projects running in the background. So one of the things that we've gotten from the feedback we've gotten from recruiters, one of the things they've asked is there's 1,000 application limit for each application. What happens if you're importing from a job that has over 1,000 applications? Yeah, that's a fair question to ask. So what it does is that it takes the first 1,000 candidates. Currently, the CVSense system can support for CV screening can support 1,000 applications per batch, which from what we've seen, it's usually fair enough. Most applications that we have, recruiters using our system are usually within the limit of about 500, 300 application. We get about 300 thereabout on average. So this is, so we haven't really hit that, gotten applications hitting that cap. But for enterprise solutions, recruiters we have a couple of recruiters who are working with us on enterprise. We can, upscale that limit. We can increase it to 5,000, depending on their specific need. But for the standard, what we do within the system here, it is 1,000 application limits, and we haven't had much issues with recruiters using it. If applications have been within the average of 300, 500 for each job job post. So let's go to the reports. So these are some of the applications I just did. You can see they are all out. This is the one I just did. You can see what the report looks like. You can see that this application has 2 candidates that are good. 3 are limited. There's no strong candidate here. There's no exceptional candidate here. There's no fair candidate. There's no invalid CV. So you can look at all of these candidates and view more about what's you can make out of these candidates. From the skills that have been listed, you can see here that 1 skill was validated. I think I added about the number of skills I added, workbench and all of that, but you can see that this candidate has 11 years full stack experience, SQL learning validated by whatever, it explains that. You can see their key strengths. You can see that their key strengths is SQL, which is validated by the PostgreSQL stack across projects, Docker validated and all of that. You can see areas for concern. This candidate does not have a product management experience. Whatever concerns, you can find them here and you can make a decision. I think that explains why the candidates are, rated good, but not, not strong, and of course not exceptional. From what we've seen, we know that recruiters would prefer to go for candidates that are either exceptional or strong, and not just going for average. But yeah, this takes to within the CV screening, you can now recruiters can manage the shortlist. Individual candidates that you think that are good, that fits what you want. You can add them to shortlist instantly. You can also, okay, I think I already showed you this. You can also view their CVs. You can see why, what they possess, what you need to know, and whatever. You can download your CVs as well from here, and from this stage, you can now go, add them to shortlist, or you can do the bulk shortlisting. Let's say you want to shortlist just those who are good, so you use the filter here to, filter those who are good, and just add all the good candidates to shortlists. So I already added one to shortlist. It was remaining one, so I have added it to shortlist, and you can unshortlist them. It's give you that full flexibility. So yeah, as you can see, I have shortlisted these two candidates, and you can see all the candidates here. So from here, you can move to your shortlist manager, and take the whole process from there. But this video is just to show you how how to get the best out of CV screening, and not the shortlist manager. Hopefully in the next videos we might have explainers that talks about how to get the best out of shortlist manager. But remember, you can always export your data. You can always export your data if you wish, and use it within your internal CRMs, or ATS systems, or whatever. Thank you.